How's it going, everybody? In this video, I'm going to talk about my 1.5 year review of my step deck. I have a 53-foot low pro Rittenauer step deck that's pretty well decked out, including ramps. So I'm going to cover that and maybe if I should have kept my flatbed. So like I said, a 53-foot low pro Rittenauer step deck, and you know it's been a great trailer. I've had it for 1.5 years. I got it in March of 2019, and I've got an old video about it. I'll link that in the comments down below, and you can check it out. I go over everything that's on the trailer, so I'm not going to necessarily do that in this video. More of what I want to talk about in this video is, do I feel like it was a good choice to purchase that step deck, or maybe, you know, stay with the flatbed trailer that I was running before I bought it. So that other trailer, it was a 48-foot flatbed. It was nothing special. It was a combination trailer, which this one is all aluminum. That one was a combo of steel, aluminum, and it was much heavier. Whenever I switched over to this step deck, normally you would actually gain a little bit of weight, but I actually stayed about the same. I have a lot of equipment, and then adding everything that was on this trailer back there, you know, it wound up coming out to being about the same. And this trailer has aluminum wheels. The other trailer did have steel wheels, so it was very, very basic. And, you know, it was good, but it's almost an unfair comparison. And the reason that I say that is because I ran that trailer basically all the way through 2018, which was pretty much a record year for any platform, any trailer, dry van, reefer, whatever. Everybody was making good money that year. And then I bought this trailer in March of 2019. So, you know, the first quarter of the year is typically not very good for open platform. So I can't necessarily compare the difference from personal experience. But what I can say is I've done well staying loaded. But if you kind of look back, and it might show through on the vlogs or on this channel, it might not. I'm not sure what all loads I covered and what I didn't. The majority of loads that I haul with this they're pretty much flatbed loads. So I don't have a ton of true step deck loads that go onto this trailer. That's what I look for, and that's pretty much what I've been hauling since I've been at Landstar. I mean, for the most part, I've hauled a decent amount of hazmat because it pays really well, which there wasn't a lot of that at Mercer, so I didn't do anything related to hazmat when I was at Mercer. They don't have a lot of oversized freight, which they have a good amount here at Landstar. I just really haven't been able to get my hands on it quite yet. That is coming soon, though, because that's going to be the primary focus of what I'm going to be hauling. Even if the load doesn't necessarily pay that great, I'll still probably choose, you know, an oversized load over some kind of regular load or a hazmat load to get that experience. You have to build up that experience at Landstar, and that's the only way to progress through the ranks. But I digress. I don't want to go down that road in this video. So it's kind of a fair comparison, but at the same time, take it with a grain of salt, because we're comparing flatbed when it was off the chain to now everybody's, you know, hanging on for dear life, hanging on by a thread. So, you know, like I said, I've done well. I've stayed loaded since I've been here at Landstar with this step deck. You know, I've only really had to lay over once. There was another time where I was kind of picky with the loads that I was looking for, and it bit me in the butt, so to speak. So, you know, once was my fault, once wasn't. And both times it was only for a day. Now, one time it did result in me bouncing a long ways for a load, but that's neither here nor there. You know, the step deck, for the most part, I've been able to stay loaded, even whenever I was out running the spot market, which, if you don't know what that is, that's the open market, or like the load boards like DAT and Truck Stop. And so I was able to stay loaded even whenever I was out there. But what I will say is, definitely there's more freight for a flatbed than there is a step deck. So I just want to take a few seconds and let you know that this video is sponsored by Trucker Tools. Trucker Tools is one of the best apps on the market, whether you're an owner-operator or a company driver. We have partnered up and we're doing a giveaway. And in order to enter the giveaway, I'm going to put the information in the description box down below. All you have to do is download the application, head over to your app store, and from the app store, you're going to give it a review. Now, looking at this, I only see 141 ratings and a 2.9 star. That's absolutely ridiculous for what this app offers and for the level of customer service that Trucker Tools provides. As you can see, they have load tracking, they have fuel stops and weigh scales for your company drivers, a route and a fuel optimizer for the owner-operators, as well as Book It Now from some of the top brokers on the load board. So guys, head on over to the App Store, give it a review, and give them some feedback. Let them know how you would like to see them improve going forward, or what they could possibly work on. And then, like I said, in the description box, check out those directions so you can enter that giveaway, and you can win a gift card that's as good as cash and a t-shirt. Thanks, Trucker Tools. In times where it's kind of strenuous, there's not as much freight, the freight rates are down, it's probably easier to continue moving with a flatbed. So if the freight volumes really drop, which kind of, 2 or 3 weeks after this whole COVID crisis happened, we saw that. Now, I was able to stay loaded, but it was very, very slim pickings. I believe that is, I'm very, very thankful that I made the move to Landstar when I did, because they have a plethora of customers, which means a plethora of freight, and, those customers are paying top dollar, well, because, Landstar is one of the biggest and best owner-operator companies. So, very, very lucky that I was able to actually make that change at that time. If I was still out on the spot market, it definitely would have been extremely, extremely rough on me. But just so you know, I didn't notice that there's more flatbed freight, and it's probably easiest to stay moving with something like that. Moving on. The difference in rates between flatbed and step deck are definitely worth it. This is just a generality. I'm not saying that this is exactly what it is, but this is just kind of from memory and the feel that I get. I would say that between step deck and flatbed, there's probably about a 20 to 30 cent difference rate per mile on average. Okay, I'm not talking about direct customers. If you have your own authority and you're out, doing your own thing, of course you're going to get better rates. So just leave that crap in the comments, leave it to yourself. But the rates for step deck are generally better, and the bigger and badder the load, the better you're going to get paid, especially if it's got to go on a step deck. This load that I'm on right now, it required a 53-foot step deck, not necessarily a low pro. They just needed 42 feet on, down on the bottom deck. And so because of that, when I called, I was able to get a significant bump in the rate because it's specialized. So that was pretty nice. But I would say on average, the difference in rates, 20 to 30 cents. So if you're able to continually stay moving with step deck freight, yes, you're going to make more money. But in those times where the step deck freight is a little low and the flatbeds are still running while the step decks are, missing a day here, missing a day there, well, it's gonna, in the long run, it's probably gonna be fairly equivalent, probably giving the edge a little bit to the step deckers. Now, the problems that I've experienced with this trailer, I have experienced some serious blowout issues. As a matter of fact, just a couple of days ago, I blew a tire and I limped it to the truck stop. It wasn't too far. I was able to do so safely. We were kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and you know, I was able to get it to the Loves, and I was able to, I had to change out that tire. When the tech got that tire off, well, the inside tire was messed up too. So I wound up changing 2 tires, and one of those was pretty much brand new. Matter of fact, the position that blew last time was the inside tire. The tech had some issues the last blowout that I had, and he had to wind up putting that brand new tire on the outside for some reason. I don't even remember what it was, but anyway, that was the newest tire that I had on the trailer. Now, whenever we looked at the tire after we got it off, it looked like there was kind of a healthy chunk missing out of the center, and no telling how that happened, but that was most likely the cause of the blowout. So, you know, unfortunately, it just kind of is what it is. I don't necessarily think that that was anything that I did wrong, or maybe any kind of problem that I've had with the trailer. But, you know, as far as blowouts are concerned, you know, my trailer is set up with the Bendix air system. I think it's Bendix, but it has the air system. So the tire pressure monitoring system and the auto inflation system. And so I know that those tires back there are always inflated to the proper pressure. And you know, all of the people that I've spoken with, some had that tire pressure system, some didn't. Some had blowout issues, some didn't. Most importantly, I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Spooner, and I met up with him in Amarillo one day. I wanted so badly to whip the camera out, but I didn't want to kind of shove that in his face and start asking him questions. So out of respect, thankfully, he had a conversation with me. And great guy. If you ever see him, if you know who I'm talking about, his truck is extremely recognizable. So he's a really nice guy, and he enjoys talking to other drivers. So, you know, definitely try and have a conversation with him, if he's not busy, of course. But he's running a triple axle low pro step, and he does not have issues with blowouts. But what he did say is that these tires are rated at 62 miles an hour, which some are rated at 62, some are rated at 65. Now, I believe he ran Michelin tires. Those were rated at 62, and he said that he doesn't go above that 62 mile an hour mark. Now, he pulls a lot of heavy haul, a lot of OD and heavy stuff, and so, you know, he pretty much needs to drive the kind of the speed limit anyway. At least most of them do. And he doesn't really have issues with blowouts. And, you know, that kind of confirmed what I thought was going on. I know that, you know, for the first couple of blowouts that I had, it was ignorance. You know, I wasn't driving too terribly fast. I mean, between 65 and 68 miles an hour, but I'm almost certain that was the main contributing factor to the first couple of blowouts. The couple that I've had since have been some head scratchers. This last one, like I said, I was going 62 all day. It was only 80 degrees outside, and I'm in higher altitude. So there was absolutely no reason why I should have blown this tire. Unfortunately, it just happened. So, you know, it could be that I've just been unlucky with tires on this trailer, or it could be that something's going on. So at some point in the future, very, very soon, I need to get to Kansas City, and I need to go see Chad Hone over there and talk alignment, talk trailers, or tires about this trailer, and see what he thinks and see what might be his resolution to this issue. You know, so there's been that. I have a couple of leaks as well in that tire pressure system. and it drives me nuts. There's a fitting on there, and I don't know, I guess I'm just gonna have to swap it out. I've gone in there, you know, of course everything came doped up whenever the fittings came doped up, whenever they were tightened down. I've re-doped them up, I've tightened them down, and for whatever reason, they're just not staying put. So I also need to talk with him and see if maybe that's a contributing factor to the blowouts. You know, maybe a fluctuation in air pressure is happening that I'm unaware of. I would think that this would be a minor situation with just that kind of air leak. I don't even think that that would be tied in with the tires, but I guess it's a possibility. I don't know. I'm really kind of grasping at straws here because it's just blowing my mind how many tires that I've had to replace. I don't drive like a bat out of hell like most guys out here. I don't hit curbs. I do my best to take wide turns. I mean, I don't know. I've done what it seems like everything that I can do, but yet I still keep popping them. So I don't know. In retrospect, would I continue, or would I buy another one, or would I go back to the flatbed? And actually, what I would do is I would buy a triple axle. I know that's not the answer that you were probably expecting. That is actually the trailer that I wanted to buy originally. I was still, keep in mind though, I was at Mercer whenever I was doing that. I spoke with the head of the permit department about this before I made the purchase. I didn't see myself leaving Mercer because there was some good freight that was coming out of Galveston at the time whenever I bought the trailer, and there was also a little bit heavier stuff that I was seeing all over the load boards. But whenever I talked with the head of the permit department, you know, she told me that she really did not feel that Mercer had enough freight to support that triple axle, and I would, you know, I'd basically be making that purchase unnecessarily. And so I listened to that advice and I bought this one. And, you know, I mean, I wish I hadn't. Of course, you know, she knew more about me, or more than I did, about the freight at Mercer at the time, but I really wish that I had. It would have opened up a lot of doors here at Landstar that have been unavailable to me because I only have 2 axles back there. And now, as far as would I buy another low pro, if I bought the triple axle, yes. If I was not going to buy a triple axle, honestly, I probably would not. I wouldn't buy another low pro. And I think I still would purchase the 53 footer, even though it causes me headache coming out of California, and I like the West Coast, so I keep beating myself up and going back that way. But even though I do like to go that way, I think I would still stick with the 53 footer. I think the 53 footer has gotten more loads for me than loads that I have lost being 53, and possibly even maybe ideally get a 51 footer where there's 41 feet on the bottom and 10 feet up top. You know, this load was 42 feet, so I actually wouldn't have been able to haul it on a 51 footer. But as long as you have 40 feet plus down in the well, you're in good shape. Or down on the bottom deck, excuse me, Wells RGN. Been talking a lot of RGN talk lately. But as long as you have 40 feet plus down on the bottom deck, I think I would. I do think that I would go older, so I don't think that I would necessarily buy brand new. The only reason that I bought this trailer brand new was because an all aluminum trailer, the cracks can develop in the neck, in the beam going down the center, and they might be very, very hard to find. And so that was a huge concern when looking at an all aluminum pre-owned trailer. So I really didn't want to do that. So I bought this brand new simply because I bought the all aluminum, and I went with Rittenauer for the resale value. But in retrospect, I don't think I would buy the weight saving step deck. It's just, I can't anyway haul 48,000 on a step deck. I guess maybe if you had a 53 footer, maybe you could get away with it. Not sure. I don't know if you necessarily save that much weight, but if you can't haul 48,000, then you're going to be missing out on a lot of loads. So you might as well you know, not, or you know, save the money on on putting it into the trailer, because you're really not going to make that much back being able to haul, you know, let's say 47,000 instead of maybe 45 to 46. So I think that I would probably go for a combo trailer and a combo step deck with a little bit of age on it. I would definitely get the ramps, and I would go 53 foot, and I would probably try to stay under 30,000. I'm sure you could get a pretty nice trailer for under 30,000. You probably actually get a really nice trailer for 30. You could probably keep it between 20 to 25. So anyway, would I keep, or would I go back to my flatbed over this step deck? Maybe over this particular step deck, but not step deck in general. It's a great segue for trying to progress further into this open platform segment of the trucking industry, and that's what I'm looking to do. So no, I wouldn't get away from the step deck, but this trailer here, haven't really been crazy about it, so I don't think I'd buy another one. Maybe I'll even get rid of this one. I don't know. We'll just have to see. You'll have to see. I don't even know, so I can't even tell you. But anyway, thanks for hanging around. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget, smash that subscribe button. Almost forgot what I was saying. Smash that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you know when the next videos are coming out. That old trailer video will be in the description box down below. Check this video out if you want to see something. Let's see, what will I put up there? I don't know. It'll be a surprise. It'll be something YouTube recommends, so they're much better at this than I am. So check that one out. Till then, stay driven.